Good morning, everyone. Uh, I was going over YouTube and Facebook in the morning before starting my day, like I do. And I was watching a video by Carpo719, who this is going to be a response to. And this is your video titled "Science Will Never Explain Spirit. Let's Go Fishing." I totally disagree. I like your videos. I enjoy your thoughts, and you make a lot of videos. uh, and most of them I'm pretty on base with. But in this one, as an aggressive, I suppose, militant atheist, as I've been dubbed here and there, uh, saying that science will never be able to explain the unexplainable is, in my mind, kind of ridiculous. In your video, you state that science is a method. So I know you understand what science is. And that you then, of course, not of course, but you then go on to state that something like 73 or 76, 70-something% of people believe in the spirit, and so science just can't address that. First, it doesn't really matter how many people believe a thing. It used to be the majority of people believed the world was flat. It used to be the majority of people believed that diseases came from demons and spirits. So the amount of people that believe something is a fallacy to claim that because so many people believe something, that makes it true. That is a logical fallacy. And I know you understand this. You've been on YouTube long enough. I know you've seen videos on logical fallacies, and you know why claiming because of authority or because of the majority of belief does not make that belief true. The other thing that I wanted to address, of course, is I know science, the scientific method. I know you understand this, but every time I hear somebody state their beliefs in the unprovable and then claim science can't account for it, that's when I have to say something. Because science is just a method. It is a method by which you observe reality and then test it. So if something exists, if there is a thing, if there is an event, if there's a realm, if there's an energy, if there is something that you experience, science will eventually, even though if it can't now, even if we don't have the way to measure stuff, science will eventually either prove it exists or be able to state that we have never seen it. Unless you have, if there's something that you experience, there has to be a reason you're experiencing it. There's a viewable, a measurable, a reality. If it's real, if you experience something real, there's going to be a tangible, measurable energy, particle, however you want to explain it. There's going to be something that science can grab onto, and then you can test. And like you say, if 70-some% of people experience things, psychedelics, the spirit world, all that, if that many people are experiencing something, then there must be a reason, and we should be able to view that, test it, and reproduce it. If it's not viewable, testable, or reproducible, then either it doesn't exist, which I'm also not claiming. I think there's something that does exist, not an afterlife or magic or anything weird like that. There is an event occurring that causes us to experience these things. That science will eventually explain it. I think it already has in many ways. And the reason you go into, or you wouldn't, the reason someone wouldn't go into a room full of scientists and state that they've experienced the spirit world, or they know ghosts exist, or there's magic, or afterlife, or demons, or whatever you imagine science couldn't prove, or science has nothing to say about, whatever you're saying that scientists would roll their eyes at, the reason people don't go into a room full of scientists and make these statements or claims is because then science will look at it and show them not to be correct. You can have your beliefs, but as soon as you start making claims about reality, that's where science comes in. Science is the method by which we understand what is real and what is happening. And to suggest that science will never be able to claim it doesn't matter. I like to give the example of just as a reference. Let's say there is a God, the one God that poofed everything into existence. He used his magic powers, and because he thought it became real. I would guess that you would state, given that God is real, that he could do it again. It would be repeatable. So if he chose to make another universe, he could think the same thought and do it again, and do it again. So it's repeatable, testable. And if you were to ask somebody, one of us, one of the little peons that he thought into existence, how he did it, most people would go, it's his word, it's magic. And to us, sure, it would appear to be magic. But would it be magic to God? If God wanted to make another universe, would he understand how he did it in the first place? And I would hope you would agree that if God did something once and was able to do it again, it would understand how it did it in the first place and be able to redo it. And at that point, the question would be, is it magic to God? And the answer, of course, is no. It would then be science. Once you understand how a thing is done and can reproduce it, it becomes science. So even God is science when you get right down to it. So anything that you experience, once we understand how you experience it, because you don't experience anything that doesn't come from here. It's all in here. There's outside influences, but you can measure if there is an outside influence. That's something you can measure. Electromagnetic waves, fields, quantum, whatever quantum you want to state. Whatever it is that's affecting us, if there's no brain, you're not experiencing it. So if there's something affecting your brain, that's measurable and testable. If it's not measurable and testable, it will be eventually, or it's not happening. If you're having an outside influence, whatever that influence is going to be measurable, because your brain is measuring it. If you're experiencing it, your brain is registering the influence. So another brain or another instrument or something else should be or will be able to register that if it exists. And one last thing, I know that I'm rambling. I've had a little too much coffee this morning. No, maybe I'm just leave it at that. Peace.